how to get approved for an apartment even if you have bad credit. Now, there's a 50% chance you can get approved, but what if I can show you a way to increase your chances so you can get approved for that apartment? So with that being said, you know what time it is. Let's get right into it. Quick question, why waste money if you have a 50% chance of being denied? What if I told you I could show you some places you can check to check your risk factors before you actually apply for an apartment? Yes, most leasing officers use secondary agencies besides the 3 major credit bureaus, and I'm going to show you all of them. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. So before you actually apply for an apartment, right, you can actually check some of the reports and check the risk factors of how close you are to getting approved for that specific apartment place. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to some of the places you can actually check. You can actually order that report. Okay. So one of the places you can go to is this place right here. It's called amrent.com. You can actually order your report and see where you're at when it comes to your risk factors. Okay. You can actually also check this place right here. It's called Appfolio to actually order your screen and consumer report to see where you're at as well. And I'm gonna have the list of all these different links where you can actually order your report. Okay. You can also go here as well. Experian, as you know, Experian also checks rental, so you can actually see that as well. Another place you can go to is this place right here, firstadvantage.com, and get your report as well. Check to see where you're at, check your background, check everything. All this stuff is very important because they're reported information on you. So you want to know the information that's being reported on you so you can get approved. Okay. You can also go to this place right here, realpage.com. Man, there are so many places. It's unbelievable of how much information that's being reported on you and how much money they're making by reporting this information. All right. You can go to rentgo.com as well. This place right here, Safe Rent Solution. They also have information that's being reported on you. And this place right here, screeningreports.com, is another place that you can check. And check this out. MySmartMove.com is another place that is also reporting information on you. So as you can see, there's so much places, so many companies that are reporting information on you that different apartment places use. Now, you don't know which one pulls from what. So what you want to do is just order all your reports and just see if you're in the process of applying for an apartment. All right. If you have bad credit. Now, here are some things you can do to improve your credit if you check some of these reports and say, hey, you're not close at all, we're not going to approve you. So let me show you what you need to do to actually improve your credit score so you can get apply the first time. All right. So let's get into it. So in order to fix your credit, you have to see what's on your report. Okay. So go to Identity IQ. I'll have a link for you so you can go ahead and get $1 trial for a 7-day dollar trial. Right. But what you're going to do is just see an overview of where you're at, okay? Because some of these different places that you saw, them different consumer reporting agencies, check from TransUnion, check from Experian, check from Equifax. You don't know which one, as you already know with Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, I already told you. But some of these other places also check from these consumer reported, the big 3 credit bureaus, okay? So you want to make sure all 3 credit bureaus is all cleaned up, okay? Because you don't know which place is going to check from which credit bureau. Okay. So as you can see right here, this is going to be an overview of your accounts. So you have total accounts, you have open accounts that are open, and then your closed accounts could be good or bad. But your delinquent accounts, what does that mean? If you're past due on some accounts, or if you're past due on accounts that is considered delinquent. Derogatory accounts are considered like different accounts that are negative status. And we already know what collections are. We already know what public records. All right. And acquires, we already know what that is. Okay. So what you want to do is go look for the negative accounts that's holding your credit score back. And what you can do is just scroll all the way down. Most likely it's all the way down at the bottom. So all you have to do is just go all the way down at the bottom of your report and see all the collections, all the negative accounts that's typically holding your credit score back. And what you want to do is just grab that information, grab the account number, grab the account name, because we're going to use that later on to actually send out your first letter to then tell the credit bureaus to do a specific thing based off of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is 15 USC 1681. Okay. And I'm basically going to walk you through the process. I just want to show you the inaccuracies of your report, because if you don't know, everything has to be complete and accurate. All right. I'm going to show you some of the laws, but most importantly, I just want to break down the report so you can see all the things that are holding you back so you can know what to do to move forward when it comes to your credit. Okay. So sit back, relax. Let me show you what you need to do first after you download your report. Now, once you have this report, now what you want to do is actually create a letter. All right. Now, the letter that you want to create is a personal information letter. Here's why. Those negative accounts that are on your report, okay? Those negative accounts that are on your report are attached to personal information. Yes, I will want you to go to Experian.com. You can create a free account with them, all right? But act like you're about to dispute. Yes, you can remove some of your personal name. You can remove some of your addresses, some of your phone numbers, some of the stuff through like online. You can actually dispute online. But that's the only thing you will typically dispute online is your personal information. But some of those accounts, some of those addresses you can't get removed because they're attached to specific accounts. And if you notice, if you click on specific information, you will see that some of them addresses are attached to your negative account. So what you want to do is list those addresses on this letter right here. Okay, so list all those addresses that are attached to those accounts and just list them on your report. I mean, list them on the letter. And then you also want to list the names that are incorrect, because you'll see variations of your first name. You'll see variations of your last name. You'll also see variations of your address. You'll also see variations of your phone number, probably job history. You'll see a lot of incorrect information that you're probably not living there no more. So you want to go ahead and update and fix it. You want to have one address, one phone number, and one job history on your credit report. Okay. All right. Because if a bank looks at your report, or if a lender looks at your report and see that you have multiple addresses, especially if you're applying for a house, they're going to ask you so much questions. Okay. So create your letter. Make sure you add 2 forms of identification, your driver's license and proof of residency. All right. And send that letter and wait. Now, it typically takes 2 to 3. Well, it typically takes like 7 days for some of your addresses to fall off your report. Now, if you dispute online, it's going to take you less than 24 hours to get some of them names off your credit report. Okay. Now, if that doesn't work, yes, there's another process. You can also call in to remove some of your addresses as well. Okay. But the letter is what you want to do to make sure that they received it and do what they need to do. All right. You're going to have 3 separate letters, one for Experian, one for TransUnion, and one for Equifax, and you want to send it certified. Okay. This is very important. Now, once you have your letter completed, now what you want to do is actually send off your first letter to get these accounts investigated. Okay. Overall goal for this letter is to ensure that the credit bureaus check to make sure everything is complete and accurate, reinvestigate the accounts. Okay. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. So as you can see right here on this letter, what you're telling them to do is, I just recently looked at my report and I want to make sure everything is 100% accurate. Can you reinvestigate the accounts listed below? I'll have this letter for you in the comments. You can go ahead and grab it for free, but I'm just showing you an example of what you need to do. Your job is to have the credit bureaus to reinvestigate this. The reason why you want them to do this is because they should have already done it the first time, but we're telling them to reinvestigate it to make sure, because when you looked at your report, if you didn't notice, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, the open date last active, a lot of things were incorrect or inaccurate. Okay, so you're telling them to reinvestigate everything to make sure it is complete and accurate. And if it's not complete and accurate, update it, modify it, and make sure everything's complete and accurate. And that's what they're supposed to do according to 15 USC 1681 I-5. Okay, they're supposed to update, modify, but usually they don't do it. All right. So you want to put the account name and account number right here. All right. And we're telling them to do specific things. What we're telling them to do is reinvestigate the completeness of every piece of information. And if it's not accurate, please remove it from my report. And what we want to do is put all those negative accounts that you saw on your report right here. Okay. Now, yes, this is going to take time. Yes, it's tedious. I understand, but you got to do what you got to do, because you're trying to get approved for an apartment and eventually you're trying to get a house later on. And eventually you're trying to probably leverage your credit to do other things. All right. But this is what we got to do first. So list all the accounts and all the account numbers. Okay. But most importantly, if I would highly recommend you get it notarized. You can go to the bank, you can go to UPS, the different places you can actually get it notarized. Now, if you don't have the money to get it notarized, I understand, but make sure you get it certified to ensure that the credit bureaus receive this letter, because they will say that they didn't receive it. To ensure that they received it, you want to send it certified, but also make sure you add two forms of identification. Very important, because they have to verify who you are. A lot of people forget to send two forms of identification. So make sure you send a picture of your driver's license and a picture of proof of residency. It could be a bill, it could be your account statement, it could be something that has your name and address. Very important. All right, with the letter, send three separate letters: one to Experian, one to TransUnion, and one to Equifax. And once they receive it, now they're on the clock 30 days from the time they receive it. All right. So, what can you do in the meantime? Let me break it down what you can do in the meantime while you're waiting. Okay. So, as you're waiting for the investigation to be complete, here are some of the things you can do right now to increase your credit score, okay? One of the things you can do, if you don't know, is pay down your credit cards, all right? We should already know that. So, if you have high utilization with your credit cards, pay it down, because 30% of your credit score is utilization, all right? Now, the other 35% of your credit score, guess what? Is payment history. And one of the ways you can increase your credit score is by adding additional payment history to your credit report. Now, here are three places you can go to right now: Boom Pay, Rental Calmer, rent reporters. Those are some of the places you can go right now to actually add payment history to your credit report. Also, Identity IQ has a way to actually do that as well by reporting some of your utility payments, okay? So these are the places you can go to that can add additional payment history to your credit report. But most importantly, not only does it affect your payment history, it affects your average age. It also affects your credit mix. It also affects your new accounts. So now you're affecting 4 out of the 5 major factors of your credit score, which will help you improve your credit score. So go check out some of the places that can help you improve your chances or improve your credit score, so now you can get a higher odds of getting approved for that apartment that you want. All right. Now, what do you do if your accounts come back verified? I got you. Okay. Now, based off of the law, based off of 15 USC 1681 I-7, you can ask the credit bureaus to provide you a description of how they verify those accounts. Now, they have to do that within 15 days from the time they receive it. And typically, they don't respond to you or give you the description on how they verify those accounts, which is another violation. So, what I want you to do is also you can go, refer back to the laws, and I'll put that in the description for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But here's a letter that you can create based off of 15 USC 1681 I-7. All right. We're doing everything according to the law. So, first things first, you want to put your name, your address, today's date, of course, the credit bureau's name, credit bureau, who are we talking to? Are we talking to Experian that verify your accounts? Are we talking to TransUnion? Are we talking to Equifax, whoever verified your accounts? Now you'll probably get some deletions from the first letter you send, but of course everything is 100% guaranteed. So we just have to go through the process of getting some of the other accounts, and you'll probably see that your score probably improve based off of the things that you're doing, paying down. We'll talk about that, but what you want to do next is send out this letter right here. Okay, so what the letter is saying is, I am writing a request a detailed description of the investigation process followed by your agency regards to disputed accounts on our report pursuant to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is 15 U.S.C. 1681 I-7. And under this section, 15 U.S.C. 1681 I-7, credit reporting agencies are obligated to provide a description of the investigation within 15 days of receiving a consumer's dispute. Okay. Now, what you're telling them, right? You want to list that a name and an account number that that was verified, and you're telling them very specific details. Provide the description of the procedure of the investigation used to verify the account. If you can't, delete this account immediately. Okay, just very specific instructions. Okay, and do that for every single account that was verified. Okay, just list all the accounts that was verified, and also, as you can see, you can get it notarized. But if you don't have the money, if you don't have the time to go get it notarized, just ensure that you send it certified. The reason why I say get it notarized is because when you send a letter to the credit bureaus, sometimes they will say that you sound like a credit repair company. they'll say that, hey, I can't verify this is you. They'll say a lot of stuff, but when you get it notarized, that leaves out all the excuses, because when you get your letter notarized, guess what? The notary is checking your driver's license to ensure that this is you. Okay. So this is the reason why this is the reason why I say get a notarized. But if you can't, make sure you get it certified when you go to the post office. Add your 2 forms of identification and then wait your 15 days. Now, typically, they're not going to respond to you within 15 days. Now, they violated multiple laws, and I'm going to show you what you need to do since they violated multiple laws, and what you can do to get these accounts removed so you can get eventually approved for your apartment that you need. All right. So let me walk you through that part. Here's what you want to do now. All right. We want to submit a complaint based off all the laws that they violate. Okay. Now, here's what you want to do. All right. You want to go to the CFPB. And if you haven't already created an account, create an account with the CFPB. But now just click on submit complaint. And once you're on there, just go scroll down to the bottom, click on start a new complaint. Now, if you don't have one already, all you have to do is put your first name, last name, email, phone number, create your password, and then go ahead, sign up and verify your email address. You should get an email from them. And then here's what you want to do next. Okay. Now you should be on a screen that looks similar to this. Now, all you want to do is just click on credit reporting. Okay. And then scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on credit reporting again. Okay. Now click on next. I got you, walk you through the process. Okay. So now what we're doing is problem with company's investigation into an existing problem. Okay. They did not fix your problem. Their investigation did not fix an error on your report. Have you already tried to fix this problem? Yes, we already tried to fix this problem. We sent the letter in. Did you request information? No. And now what you want to do is based off of what happened. All right. Only you know what happens, but you want to be very detailed. Who, what, when, how, why. You already know what we learned back in school. So just be very detailed of what happened, what laws they violated, what you did, and we everything that we did so far. Of course, this isn't 100% guarantee, but this can help you remove some of them negative accounts and eventually get you approved for that apartment that you really want. All right, just going through the steps. All right. So I looked at my report back on January 5th, 2024, and there were some things are incomplete and not accurate. And according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, whenever a consumer reporting agency prepares a consumer report, it shall follow reasonable procedures to ensure maximum possible accuracy of the information concerning the individual about whom the report relates. Now, where I got this law from was 15 USC. You can go refer back to it. 15 USC 1681 EB. Okay. These accounts, now the accounts that you're talking about is the accounts that are listed either on Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. All right. We're not talking about all 3 credit bureaus. Just pick one and then create 3 separate complaints. Okay. So these accounts, let's just say, for example, on Experian, put the name of the account and account number that you're talking about that are not complete and accurate. And then I sent the letter asking them to make sure everything is complete and accurate. And here's my tracking number. Okay. Now you can put your tracking number right there. They sent me an investigation back saying everything is complete and accurate, but if you check my attachments, everything is not complete and accurate. Okay. And you can show proof based off of looking at your experience. Looking at the report that you saw back when we did with Identity IQ, where it showed Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax didn't have the correct open date last active, and all those things. All right. And according to these specific laws, right, I-5, they're supposed to update and modify or delete it, and they didn't do nothing. All right. And then what you did tell them to do is provide you a description based off of this law right here, provide you a description on how they verify those accounts. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that either. Okay. So they violated that law as well. And then they also violated this law. They violated multiple laws. I can go on how many laws they violated, but these are the common laws you can use. All right. So according to 15 USC 1681I, they're supposed to not furnish any information related to a consumer reported to a consumer to any consumer reporting agency if the person knows or has reasonable cause to believe that this information is inaccurate and you believe that is not accurate. Okay. Now, what is your fair resolution? Your fair resolution is to delete those accounts that we're talking about. Okay. So I could just list all the negative accounts that you want removed. And here is the way to attach your evidence. You can attach the credit reports. You can attach the letters that you sent out as well. The first letter you sent out, the second letter you sent out, and you can attach all that information. Okay. Now, all you have to do now is just click on next. Let me put example. Click on next, right? Now, once you click on next, now we're only talking to, remember, one credit bureau, okay? So here's the credit bureau we're looking for is Experian or either TransUnion or either Equifax, okay? So all you have to do now is just click on that social, name as a peer, date of birth, and then just put that information as right here. Do you want to complain with another company? Remember, no. Okay. And then all you want to do now is just click on next. Okay. This is very important. Just click on next and just wait.